Okay, so hello, my lovely, lovely Annie. I am
Hello.
so excited to have you on my sofa. I feel like it's been way too long since we had a proper little catch up as well.
Yes.
So very excited for this, and yeah, all the things that I want to chat to you about. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
Uh,
for having me.
Absolutely. So, just to begin with, for anyone who has never seen your beautiful, lovely face before, can you just tell us like who you are, what you do, and just like introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Annie. I am a digital marketer. So my career's in education at the moment, but my background's working for marketing agencies. I've worked for loads of big brands like Jaguar in the past. And now I'm kind of dipping my toe into a travel business, which I've started at the end of last year. I got married last year in July, which is exciting. June, sorry, got the month wrong already. Um, so yeah, obviously we've had lots of chats about that, Vix, with your
Yeah.
upcoming wedding. And yeah, I won't go into everything, but that's just a little bit about me.
Gorgeous. I love it. And yeah, we're totally going to touch on all of those things for sure. But I'm going to start with weddings because it is very much at the forefront of my mind right now. Um,
Yeah.
so from a personal question, how did you cope on the run up to your wedding, like especially when you're in like those final few months, like how did you cope like working and doing the planning and dealing with people on the
Yeah, looking back, I was stressed in
run?
work. I was really stressed, and I can just remember apologizing to my team on a
Oh,
daily basis by the end, just saying, I know I'm really sorry. I know I'm really manic at the moment, and I know, but there is just so much going on in your head, isn't there? So and I just remember waking up in the middle of the night thinking, napkins. I haven't thought about napkins. Um, so yeah, it is a very crazy time, especially when your future hubby is lying next to you, soundly asleep
oh yeah.
with no idea what's going on in your mind, all of the
Yeah.
organization. Um, yeah, there's a reason they have those signs that are like "Welcome to Annie's wedding featuring James" because they literally have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I think to keep myself focused, I did a lot of the making for the
Yeah.
wedding myself. So I made my own bouquet. I kind of hand sewed a headdress. So like
Oh,
I beaded a headdress. So I did lots of little crafty things because that chills me out. So
okay.
I was still getting stuff on the list done, but it was in a very calm kind of, oh, I'm enjoying this type of way.
I like that.
So yeah, that kind of helped me, I think. But I'm not going to lie, I was absolutely crazy in the lead up.
Yeah.
Um, and then on the day, I was so calm. My best friend could not believe it. She was like, I cannot believe how chilled out you are. I
Okay.
said, well, I worked so hard to know it's all done, it's all fine. So now I
Yeah.
just enjoy the day. So yeah, I was really chilled on the day.
Oh, that's nice. That's reassuring to know.
Yeah.
You can actually like switch off a little bit. I don't know this because I've like worked in events management before and like in a past life I did weddings, but yeah, you feel like, am I gonna feel like I'm at work?
No.
Or actually you're
Yeah.
not even the host, are you? Like you're the guest of honor. Like
Yeah,
you're
it's
not working your own
weird
way.
being the center of attention. It is weird with everyone. I think that's the weirdest thing about the day is that everybody's looking at you, everybody's kind of giving you compliments. And yeah, I just felt really, oh, this is so strange. But it wasn't, I thought it would be horrible, but I actually loved it and was like, oh, this is really nice. And with
Yeah.
all your friends and family, and it just makes it worthwhile, all of the hard work that's gone into it. And you just have the best day, but it flies.
Yes, I am preparing myself for that. But I think it sounds like it's just like a day of being in receiving mode, which I guess if you're
Yeah.
not used to it, then it is like, oh, it feels
Yeah.
unusual, but I will welcome it.
Yeah, and I would definitely factor in a bit of time because our photographers were Ree and Tal, my friends from work. Well, Ree's in my team and Tal is her partner. The Bird and the Bard photography.
Oh,
And it was fab having people that knew us because they were like, right, you need to come and now have time on your own, you two. So when
nice.
we had our photos, we went for a walk, we went down to like a lake, and we had like playing around town. We'd like pretend dancing and they were taking photos. And I
Oh,
think that's my tip for you guys is make sure
yeah.
have a bit of time, just the two of you after the ceremony with the photos to just catch up and chat and be
Yeah.
you literally just turn up at the aisle and that's it. You don't talk then until
Hello.
yeah, until ages later. So yeah, it's weird.
Good tip. I like that. Yeah, just escape for a little bit.
Yeah. Just take that time out to be like, are you okay? How was your morning? Kind of breathe before then you go into like the next big thing of the speeches. And so, yeah.
All full on, isn't it? Is there anything that you'd do differently?
The only thing is, I was panicking about my grandma having to stand for too long because she was 90 at the time, 91. Um, and I wish that I'd kind of had more group family photos with different groups, but we're a huge family.
Okay.
Um, there were 200 there in the day.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so it was, massive to try and get photos of everybody. But
Yeah.
I do think now, I wish I had a photo with that person. I wish I had a photo with that. And the only other thing was people that couldn't make it. My auntie had COVID, so she couldn't make it. And a family friend was taken poorly the week leading up to it. So that was really emotional.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't change that by doing anything different. It's just
Yeah.
stuff happens. But yeah, I think it's just kind of whatever it throws at you, just keep going, because
Yeah.
you will still have the best days as much as,
Whatever, whatever
yeah,
meant, isn't it? Yeah, for sure. And I know you had some like challenges on the run up as well, and lots of things that you were dealing with personally, if you're
yeah.
okay to talk about those. So what would you say was like that biggest challenge for you?
I think it blindsided me a bit because I lost my dad when I was 13 months old. So obviously, I did meet him, but I can't remember anything. And he hated having his picture taken. Video cameras weren't really as big a thing then. We have got some video footage of him, but I haven't seen the tape for years, and we don't really know where it is. So I can't really remember what his voice sounds like from the video. Um, and yeah, other than my mum kind of telling me that I used to feel him and sense him around the house when I was kind of toddling around, probably about 3 or 4. I've never really had a moment where I've really thought about him not being there and thought, oh, this is, I don't know. I just think when you lose a figure like your dad or your mum when you're a child, it's a really hard thing to grieve for because you don't grieve with everybody else. They
Yeah.
grieved when you're little, and by the time you grow up, they've all moved on because you have to, life goes on. So I think this was the first major event in my life where it really hit me and I cried a lot after the engagement, just at the thought of, oh my God, I'm getting married. My dad's not going to walk me down the aisle. He's not going to meet James. He's not going to, it just really hit me like I was grieving for the first time for him
Mm.
on my own. But it was quite a nice personal journey then to feel like I could connect with him in some way.
Mm.
Um, and I looked a lot into child trauma. You know that I'm really into woo woo things.
Yeah.
And a lot of recommendations were to write letters to my dad. And I really would recommend that for people that are kind of struggling with grief around events like this.
Mm.
Because I was telling him everything about the wedding, what I was planning, all about James, how we met.
Oh,
And it kind of helped me because it got everything out that, oh, I've done all of this today. I was kind of using him really to be my, oh, look at all the stuff that I've got checked
yeah.
off my list. Um, but I would then, because you know how much I love fire,
Yes.
I would then burn the letters as if I was sending them to him.
The
Uh,
best feeling ever.
yeah, it was really kind of, it was a lovely experience, as hard as it was, and as much as I did cry, I was so worried about the day just being a mess and just I knew my mum wanted to do a speech,
Yeah.
and she'd said not long after my dad had passed away, when Annie gets married, I'm doing a speech at her wedding for Malcolm. I'm going to do
Oh.
it. Um, and my mum had to read it to us a few times before the day to get the tears out the way, so that we had our tears out the way. But yeah, I went for hypnosis
Mm.
because 3 years ago I got hypnotized to quit smoking and I left the room and I haven't smoked again.
It's so incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, so that had just fascinated me that it worked.
Um,
And I've worked a lot on my subconscious and kind of reading into how that works. And I've done work with you on that as well.
yeah.
So it's such a powerful thing when you learn how it works and how you can influence it. It's amazing. So I thought I'm going to go for hypnosis again with the same lady just to talk through the wedding and my dad, just so that I'm not crying.
Yeah.
And I didn't cry at all in any of the speeches. I was able to be emotional and feel the emotion, but
Yeah.
not be a blubbering mess.
I might need to try that because yeah, I feel that I will blub.
Yeah, and I am a blubber. Like I will
Yeah.
go to funerals for people just to support. I
Yes.
went with James to his godfather's funeral, never met the man, cried verbally. I was noisy crying in a funeral full of people I didn't know
I have
for a
done
man
that
I'd
too.
never
Yeah.
met. So embarrassing. So I just knew for the wedding, I cannot be like that. I've got to do something. And yeah, it was, well, yeah, my mum was amazed because I am such a crier. I think James was surprised as well.
Yeah. Who is this?
Yeah,
Where's my wife?
yeah, who am I married? Um, so yeah, and I do feel like a lot calmer since I've had that and kind of, I don't know, I feel like once you kind of tell yourself, "Ooh, I'm not, I'm not this emotional mess," you aren't that emotional mess anymore.
Yeah. It is like our brains are just phenomenal. Like
Oh,
obviously, like you know how much I love like the subconscious stuff and neuroscience, but it is just it's incredible.
yeah, absolutely amazing.
Would you say that it was the hypnotherapy that was like the key thing that helped you with the smoking?
100% with the
Yeah.
smoking, yeah. Yeah. But I would say the whole grieving process, the writing of the letters, and feeling like I had that connection with my dad was something really lovely that I'd never done in all the years
Mhm.
that I've not had him with me, basically my whole life.
Yeah.
Um, So I've been told stories about him, and my family are great. His parents, my granddad only died, a few years ago. My grandma's still alive, and we talk about him all the time. My mum talks about him.
Yeah.
Um, so he's very much been a part of our lives.
Hmm.
But I think it was lovely for me to have that personal connection, just between us. It
Yeah,
was,
just one on one.
yeah,
Yeah. I love that. That's so beautiful. And I'm so glad that you got to do that as well.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I
really
mean,
lovely. Almost like a pre-wedding ritual.
yeah, it
Really,
was it
really
was
nice.
good. I think it's important that you kind of listen to your body when it's telling you something. So I
Yeah.
knew how sad I was, and I
Yeah.
knew I had to deal with it. Um, and yeah, I've done a lot of trauma healing over the last couple of years for lots of different things, but I think that one has been one of the most rewarding things that I've done.
Yeah. Gorgeous. I love that. And how are you feeling like now you're on like the other side of the wedding and it's
Yeah.
kind of like the calm. Is it
Yeah,
calm? Is it calm
it,
on the
it is calm. It's too calm. Um,
other side?
I really missed the wedding planning. I really missed the buzz. I missed oh my God, the wedding's coming, something's coming. I missed the hen. I had an amazing hen in Italy that my sister planned, and it was incredible and it was perfect. If you haven't been to Lucca in Italy, I suggest you go. It's
Okay.
just the most beautiful little village.
Oh,
Um, it's got a walled garden. So the whole centre's got all the little restaurants, and then you can cycle around the top of it. It was stunning. So yeah, I do miss all of that and being the centre of attention. You do get used to it
of
eventually.
course.
Um, and yeah, I think we've still got the honeymoon to plan. And I think that is why, I mean, we had a mini moon, but it
Mm,
was 2 weeks in Lanzarote in the end.
nice.
So not much of a mini moon. But we are planning an epic trip to America in
Nice.
September. And that is how I found my travel business. I
Yeah.
started looking to plan the honeymoon, um, and got really stuck into that because you do grieve for the wedding, really. You
I've
feel really
heard this.
depressed when it's over,
Yeah.
and you feel bad because you think, James was like, well, he didn't feel depressed. He was like, well, aren't you happy that we're married? was like, well, yeah, but I really miss the wedding and I miss being creative and I miss, having stuff to do of an evening and a purpose. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so I've like kind of plowed everything into my travel business now because that's given me that creative outlet and that helping people and that buzz and that,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I'm really loving that. That's been good. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have something set up to kind of because I know you and me are quite similar in that way. We'll always want something going on.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Hard
I
to do
definitely have
nothing.
something, yeah, geared up for you to kind of jump straight into so that Danny isn't like, what's going on? Why are you so sad?
Yeah. Who is this person? You were not like this before we got married. What's
Yeah.
going on? Yeah, it is, and it's strange, isn't it? And I'm even finding it now, like being on sabbatical.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I've taken a break from my business. How circumstances have worked out, I'm now actually taking a break from work as
Oh,
well.
okay.
I'm like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And it goes against like when you are someone like we are when we're always like our brains are always active and we've always got an outlet or something that we're doing. And it is just being, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I love that to a certain extent. And I do think we do too much. I know that we do that. And I speak about that all the time, don't I? That we're in this masculine world and we're always on the go. And it is so beautiful to have the chance to rest and just be.
Hmm.
But at the same time, if you've got one of those minds that are still going, it is quite hard to switch off. So yeah, it's nice to have those outlets and places and
Yeah,
things to do.
definitely. And I think I did because as much as I do love to be on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go, I hadn't realised how tired I was. And at Christmas
Yeah,
break, the office closes for 2 weeks in my normal job. Um, so there was no pressure to be in work or I hadn't taken annual leave when others hadn't. It was just all closed. We all knew you turn your laptop off, that's it.
yeah.
And I properly switched off for Christmas. I had 2 full weeks of just, yeah, being able to do whatever I want. Uh,
Mm,
and I was choosing to go and work on the travel thing and do stuff for the travel thing because I
yeah,
find it fun and I find it's like a hobby, not just a business. And I
yeah,
get
I get
lots
that.
back from it. But it was nice to kind of give myself permission that, if there were days that I thought, oh, I just want to have a bath and not speak to anybody, that I could.
Yeah,
So I think I've learned that a lot in the last couple of years is that if your body is telling yourself or you're kind of feeling, oh my God, I need to take a break, I need to, even if it's just, I need to go and hide in
yeah,
the bedroom for an hour and read my book or listen to a podcast or because I know a lot of, the people that I work with, clients, people in my team, they've got children, which I haven't. Um, but my sister said the other day that she just ran, got into bed, and started reading her book. And her husband was like, "What are you doing? You can't just come up here and read your book." And she was like, "Why not? You sit and watch
Stop.
football for 2 hours." He was like, "Oh, okay." So I think you've just got to kind of give yourself permission to say, "Look,
Yeah,
mummy's just reading for a minute. Leave me alone."
yeah,
And it's all right to do that. But we don't have to be this perfect person, this social media person all the time. Like we're not, nobody's built like that. You can't be on all the time.
no, it's exhausting. It is
Yeah.
exhausting. Yeah, and it is.
So,
It's recognizing those signs, isn't it? And like you say, like listening to your body when your body's going, no,
yeah.
we
And I
need,
think I touched on it with you when I worked with you, but I also worked with Vicky, who you introduced me to, and we talked around people who kind of light you up when you're with them, and then there's some people who kind of drain you. And
yeah,
that was light bulb moment this year where I've really noticed how I'm different around different people.
yeah,
And as soon as I kind of signed up in the travel business and met the girls in the team, I was just beaming, constantly
yeah,
smiling when I'm in the chat with them, when I'm doing work with them. They're just my sort of people. They light
yeah,
me up and I feel really good. So yeah, I'm going to be more about that in 2025. People make me feel good. That's great. I'll give them my time. But yeah, if things aren't serving you and you're not getting anything out of them, just, you know, gradually get rid of them. You
yeah.
don't have to be
It's
harsh about it, but just kind of fade things out that aren't
yeah,
serving you. I'm,
absolutely.
I'm all about that for 2025.
Yeah, because it hugely impacts your energy, doesn't it? And obviously my mindset with all things like manifestation, who you're surrounding yourself with is going to impact on what you're attracting as well.
Yeah, hugely.
So really, really key. But I think also like if you are seeing people, that are around you that aren't lighting you up, is there something there that they're trying to show you as well?
Mm, yeah,
Um, but also, yeah, the difference when you are with your people. I think that's something that I've adored with my business. Like you pick your clients,
yeah,
which is beautiful because I get people like you, and it's wonderful. And you do find your like-minded souls.
yeah. I think it's hard when you're an adult to
Mm.
make friends because
Yeah.
it's really odd to just approach if another adult approaches you in the street and they're like, "Hi, do you want to hang out?" You'd be like, "What? No.
No.
Oh my God, it's a crazy person talking to me in the street." Um, and yeah, it's weird because when you're in uni, you've got your group of friends in uni, and then you leave uni, and then you've got your work friends, but you don't always want to be with people that you work with.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I was really glad to meet you and the group of girls through you.
Yeah.
Doing the retreat with you is still one of my most favourite things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Um, it
Gorgeous.
was amazing, and you just meet all these amazing people when you're in your 30s. You're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? And then there's not that awkwardness of like, will you be my friend?
Yeah,
It's like you have to be now because we've been on a retreat together.
exactly. Yeah, we've bonded. This is
Yes,
it.
you're automatically my friend now. You don't get a say. Yeah. But no, it is so lovely. And yeah, it does make a huge difference as well, doesn't it? But how are you finding this? I know you've said, the travel business is filling that gap from the wedding. How are you finding even with that, like juggling with your job as well and doing the two together?
Yeah, some days it's can be hard because I hate leaving things unread. I'm one of those people that I will never have unread notifications on my phone. James's email inbox gives me heart palpitations because he'll have over 1,000 unread,
Yeah,
um,
I'll deal with that.
and it just makes me want to cry when I see it. Um, so that's what I've got to learn is it doesn't all have to be done right now.
Hmm.
So if I get a message, like a quote will come in for holiday, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's an exciting holiday. I'm going to do that on lunch, but then I'm not having a lunch break. So
Yeah.
I'm not properly switching off and I'm not. So that I do need to work on that. Sorry, the dog's shaking himself about.
Monty.
I'm sure he'll appear on the camera in a minute.
Oh.
He's yeah, so that is probably my main thing is
Hmm.
putting boundaries in for myself. So time
Yeah.
management. Um, but it's not for bad reasons. It's because I'm so excited to get on with things. So yeah, I just want to make sure that I kind of set good a routine. I'm a
Yeah.
morning person, so I can get up at 6, do a couple of hours on my business, then do my day job, have a
Hmm.
lunch break, go for a walk, have a nice meal, back to work for the next few hours, have another break, and then do work again
Yeah.
on the travel thing. Because the beauty of the travel business is that a lot of it is through social media and on your phone. Well, I would have been sat doom scrolling on my phone all night and not earning money or getting any fulfillment. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different kind of feeling when you're working on the business rather than thinking, oh, I just sat on the sofa all night again and did nothing. Um,
Totally get that. Totally get that. And it's even though it is work, it's a different kind of work. But when, you've got a business that you're so passionate about,
yeah,
it is just like spending time on your hobby, isn't it?
yeah,
And like Danny's pulled me up on it before when I've been like doing business stuff on a night while we're watching TV, but I'm like, but this is lighting me up. Like I'm enjoying this. Like it's not taking my energy in the
no,
same way that work would do. So
yeah,
it's, but I think you are right. You still do need those boundaries, which can take a little bit of time to kind of build into that routine and get used to
yeah,
it. But
definitely. And I think this week's been easier because work hasn't quite ramped up yet.
yeah,
So it has been that bit slower, which is lucky because I'm that bit slower. I'm really not. Oh, I feel like I don't know. My brain is not up to
not
full
ready
speed
yet.
yet at all. No. Um, I went. When was my first day back? Tuesday. So yeah, I
Mm.
haven't really done a full week, and I just feel like I've accomplished nothing. But
One of those funny weeks though, isn't it?
yeah, don't tell my boss.
No, I think the whole of January is like that, to be fair. It's a funny little month for like getting
And
getting going.
that's something else I learned actually from you is through the pagan calendar.
Mhm.
So I've always wondered why I am so unmotivated in January and why starting new resolutions and things
Yeah.
I'm so athletic. And then we had that call where it was, well, autumn. It's when I started my business, and I
Mm.
was firing on all
Yeah.
cylinders, and it was just, well, I just found it easy. It was a breeze.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it made a lot of sense. So that was
Yeah.
interesting.
It really does, doesn't it? Like if you look outside now, like I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's like snow and ice here. It's pitch black
Yeah,
and nothing's alive now. All the trees and plants and everything, they've gone to sleep. Your animals, they're hibernating, we're then trying to like, yeah, go back to work on all cylinders and you wonder why you find it difficult. It's like, just look outside.
yeah,
Here he
exactly.
is.
Here he is. He's been in the cone of shame this week.
Hello. Oh no.
He had a bit of a cut on his face, but it's
Oh,
better now.
bless you.
But yes, he's been
What's
very
the cone of
miserable because
shame?
he's been knocking his when he's running up the stairs, he kept knocking his cone and then falling backwards and
Oh,
going
it's
into
a shame.
doors. They don't have any spatial awareness. Like
No,
cats are amazing, aren't they? But dogs, not no, not a clue.
less
Just bump
so.
into everything.
Oh, little love.
It's all better
It's all
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Bless him. Bless him. So cute. So yeah, it is. It's all about balance, isn't it? And listening, looking at the seasons, looking at what's kind of out there. But I know you also, before you got into your current career that you're in, you kind of had to rebuild that up, didn't you? Uh,
Yeah.
how did you find that?
Yeah, so it's been 10 years now. So 10, I can't believe it's been 10 years. I fractured my spine.
Mm.
So I was, and I get told by people all the time, you can't just casually say, I fractured my spine and just move on. But
Why?
it does feel
See, for
that
me,
kind of,
I fractured my spine too, so I'm like, yeah, this is normal.
yeah, it's not because you
Other
wouldn't think
people are like,
if you'd never done it yourself, you'd think, oh my God, and you can walk and you're all right.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I did. I went roller skating for a friend's birthday. I wasn't drunk. I always get asked that. I think if I had been drunk, I probably wouldn't have broken it because I would have just fallen
yeah,
and not hurt myself.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that meant that overnight I was working for an agency in London at the time. So I'd kind of worked in an agency in Bristol for 4 years and then thought, oh, I'm going to try London. I'd done New York for an internship. So I'd worked over in America, loved it over there, and thought if I don't do London now, I'm never going to do it. So yeah, I'd only been down there a few months really. Was working in agency life, in the thicks of it. And yeah, overnight had to move home back in with my parents, leave my flat with my friends,
Oh,
leave my job, leave everything. And I was off work for 12 months, all in all, recovering. So yeah, looking back, it's really weird to think, God, that happened to me. It's a bit of a blur.
yeah,
Um, but I think the hardest thing wasn't the kind of injury and the pain, as bad as that was. The hardest thing was having to rebuild afterwards.
yeah.
So luckily, we have connections in Bluestone in Pembrokeshire, the holiday park. Um, and I got a job there, like a junior job, junior kind of entry level. Um, I did have more junior, members of the team that I kind of ended up coaching, but I really struggled going back in at that low level because I was a senior account manager when I left London, earning a really good salary, just kind of at the top of my game, and then yeah, having to go back in
Yeah.
right at the bottom was really hard. And yeah, in the end, I actually left. And looking back, this is probably me looking for that light and looking for I need something. This just isn't right.
Yeah.
Um, so I just took a complete U-turn and I went to work for a company called Planed, helping communities and local businesses gain EU funding.
Okay.
So I was working on kind of like a rural business fund, rural community projects, and I just met the most incredible people who selflessly give up their time to help people in communities, help people who are less fortunate, kind of just yeah, put all their energy into making things better, whether it's services for disabled people. There was like a real issue with disabled people couldn't get taxis to go to appointments because taxis know that it takes so much longer to kind of load a wheelchair on, so they wouldn't pick up. And like
Mm.
all the different projects that I got involved with, it was, pharmacies in rural villages where they don't have access to being able to walk to a pharmacy, so they'd have a mobile pharmacy service. yeah, there was men's sheds type projects. There were businesses trying to set up Wi-Fi in rural areas. Um, it was amazing. I met the most amazing people and I loved every minute. And although it was completely away from marketing and I love marketing, I've gone back into it obviously. It was just what I needed to kind of give me that confidence back in, and you're working with people who, without being rude, are not digital savvy, have no
Mhm.
clue. So it did really build up my confidence because
Yeah.
everything I did with a computer was like, oh my God, you know how to do that. Oh, you can build a website. Oh, you can do social media. And I was like, yeah, I can.
I'm a
So,
superhero.
yeah, so it did really help build my confidence back up. And then I went for a manager job then again at a high level in Celtic Manor and I got the job. And then I was back where I was then. Um, but yeah, that really helped me taking that side step and just going completely into something different. It just suited me and my personality and my needs at the time. So yeah, that's been yeah, that was brilliant. That was really
Yeah, I love
nice
that.
to have done.
It just goes to show as well, doesn't it? I think, when we are in a corporate world, and it's what we're kind of taught, I guess, but also like our own ambitions, I guess it's constantly like going like, well, I need to be at the next level, the next level, next level. And like heaven forbid that we have to take a lower level position. Like it's a hit to the ego as well, isn't it? And then it's like,
Oh
right,
yeah.
now what? And then you think like that's it, that's the end of the world. But actually, sometimes having those either step backward or a side step actually really serves you in a different way.
Yeah.
And you
And
can
it
still
was
go back to the top if you want to.
yeah, definitely. And it just was nice for it not to be about bonuses, salaries. It was all about the fulfillment from the job and the
Yeah,
people and you could physically see how you'd help them. You could see the results of, they get their funding and then you get to work with them to get it set up and then you'd see what had happened and all the people who'd benefited. And oh God, yeah, it really does pull on the heartstrings and just make you feel amazing. It's such a rewarding career. Um, but yeah, my heart is in digital marketing. I
yeah,
knew I was going to go back there eventually, but
yeah,
I've kept up with volunteering and done stuff on the side because I just know that it does make me happy and it does light me up.
yeah. Gorgeous. I love that. But the world of digital marketing is very, very different, isn't it? And obviously, I lecture in marketing, but I think when you work in it, it's a whole other space, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really fast paced, and you've got I'm lucky. I've got an incredible team working with me, um, and I manage them, and we've been together for 5 years, which is unheard of in
Mhm.
marketing for everybody to stay that long. But
Yeah.
I think we bonded over COVID. We joined late 2019, me a couple of months before them, and yeah, we've just been through this huge thing together, and it just works. We're all just I don't know, we're just in sync and we
Mm,
just get things done. But I think the thing for me, as you go up and up and up in the levels, you then do less and less of the work that you love. So
yeah.
that's what the travel business has given me back that I was missing was that creating social posts, building a website, doing all the stuff that, that got me to where I am now. Um,
Yeah.
so I still get to do all of that creative stuff while still having that manager role because I love being a leader. I love
Mm,
managing. So yeah, it's kind of allowed me to do everything, more of what I enjoy.
yeah, which is lovely. And I think once you know those things that you love and you found like your passions, the things that fulfill you, the things that light you up, or the people that light you up, like we don't have to get it all from one place.
No,
And that's beautiful. You can get it from different avenues, which I think is lovely.
yeah. And I think it's just having patience, which, well, I was with James when we met, but for years I was single. I was thinking I'm never going to settle down. I'm never going to meet anybody. Nobody's going to love me. And I was like Bridget Jones, drinking too much, smoking too much. All my friends around me were getting married, having babies, doing things, and I was just career party.
Yeah.
I mean, my 20s were amazing. I wouldn't change them, but yeah, I genuinely thought I'm never going to end up with someone and have that happy ever after that other people have. And now looking back, I just think, wow, how has this happened?
Yeah.
I've now, I'm married to my best friend. We do everything together. Um, got my little Monty Moose here. got my career back on track.
Yeah.
Um, can manage my pain now from my injury because I'm used to
Yeah.
that, and I've got a business and a job that I love. So yeah, I'm in a really really good place. So anyone struggling, thinking, oh my god, it does get better, and that's the worst thing you can hear. It's like when you're single and you're like, you
Oh, I
won't
remember
get
that
someone
so
when you
well. Yeah.
expect it. Um,
Yeah.
if the right thing will come along when it's meant to. We've all heard those things a million times, but it is true. And just work on yourself if you're waiting for something in the meantime, because then when you're ready, you'll call in what you're supposed to call in.
Yeah, exactly. And it is. And you want to slap people, don't you? And
Yeah.
I've been on the receiving end and I've also been that person that's like, it's divine timing. And people are like, Vix, I'm going to smack you. And I'm like, I know, but it is. And you're right, use the time, work on yourself because what we are is what's going to be reflected on us.
Yeah,
So
and I used to have like this list of, oh my God, the person has to be this and be that and be,
yeah.
and you just think, have you looked at yourself? Are you doing anything good? Are they going to be drawn to you? No, probably not. So yeah, I think working on yourself and just becoming the best version of you, you're going to meet someone that's worthy of you because you're going to be more attractive anyway. So yeah,
Yeah. Yep, exactly. We attract who we are, not what we want,
yes,
which can be like a horrible, horrible thing to hear. And yeah, sometimes not pleasant, but at least you can change what's inside.
yeah, and
It's
how
just
you feel about yourself as well. You can change that.
yeah, exactly. And what we put out there, and it's all the energetic stuff that I adore as well.
And me.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Um, One thing I was going to ask you, because I think this will be really wonderful, seeing as you are a digital marketing superhero. Anyone who does have a business, we're kind of not forced to, but digital marketing is, it's huge, isn't it? It's one of the best
Yeah,
ways for marketing, depending on what your business is. But I know I speak to a lot of people, and sometimes I feel this myself as well, even though I've worked in marketing before, but sometimes you feel like, do you know what? I want to just be doing my business. I don't want to be doing the marketing side, but you kind of
yeah.
have to be, jack of all trades really sometimes when you have your own business. Is there anything that you would say like your top three tips for someone who isn't necessarily really marketing savvy, but is trying to utilize digital marketing to help their business?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of pressure is kind of put on people that you must have a website if you've got a business. And that's not true. You don't have to have a website. You don't have to spend thousands of pounds on a website. Um, Also, when people quote thousands of pounds,
Mm,
it's not always, you don't always need that. There are a lot of cheaper out of the box ways that you can do things. Wix is what I've built my website in. I can build websites, I can build them from code, but why would you when you've got something it's like pastry? I'm not going to make pastry from scratch. I'm
no,
going to buy ready made.
absolutely. Get you just roll out.
Yeah, so I would say first, don't even think you have to have a website. But second, if you do, it doesn't have to be this all singing, all dancing, incredible website. It can just be a page that is off, Wix or one of the similar sites. Second, don't try to do everything all at once.
Mm,
Just tackle things in manageable sections. So, I don't have an email mailing list. I haven't even built one up yet because I'm not ready for that. And that's someone who, I can do it all because I do it all in a career.
yeah,
But I don't want to run before I can walk. I don't want to have too many things to manage. And also pick your channels for social. Some will suit you and your personality and your business better than others. You don't
yeah,
have to be on them all. So don't feel like, oh, I've got to post on here and I've got to post on there.
yeah,
You can, if Instagram is what you enjoy doing, stick to Instagram. You can always move into TikTok. You can always dabble in other areas. But I really wouldn't stress about doing everything everywhere all
yeah.
at once, because you'll just burn out and you won't be able to do anything properly. Um, and yeah, third, I'd say what I've had to really learn, which isn't really only digital marketing, but it's because I've always worked for other people, it's
Mm,
working on your personal brand. So
yeah,
who are you? What do you want to get across to your followers? What do you want to get across to your clients? Because you want to attract people in that light you up to work with you.
Yeah.
So you want to get that brand across because you don't want, I'm hoping to build a team now to help other people benefit, like I have from booking travel, earning from it, saving on my own travel. But
Yeah.
I don't want to work with people every day that drain me or that we don't click or that, it's going to be a jarring match. So I think whatever your business, you want to get that out and across, whether it's, you don't have to create these amazing things in design programs. You can literally put your camera on and talk.
Yeah.
And that's a post, that's a story.
Yeah.
Um, but this is probably 4 tips. If you do want to create stuff, then Canva is brilliant.
Yes.
We all love Canva. Um,
Brilliant.
I can use all of Adobe, and I'm very rusty on it these days. But I would always choose Canva because,
Yeah.
again, it's like the pastry. Why would you make it from scratch?
Yeah. No, make life easier for yourself. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah. So much easier. Oh, that's gorgeous. Thank you for that. So I have stolen from one of my favorite podcasts with Stephen Bartlett, his idea where he asks guests to leave questions for other guests.
Okay.
So I'm going to finish with a question from one of our other guests. So, um, this is a lovely question. So, who is the biggest source of inspiration in your life and why?
Oh,
It's a juicy one, that, isn't it?
yes. And there's lots of potential answers for that.
So inspired.
Yeah. Do you know what? As we've talked about business and kind of personal connections and people that light you up, I'm going to say my friend Kai.
Mm,
So she runs her own business, Lou, Liou, which
mm.
is a jewelry brand.
Oh,
And I've worked with her loads over the years. I've helped her out with kind of her emails and marketing, but she is just the most incredible human. She is just gorgeous inside and out. She's always there for people. Never puts herself first. She's a mum to a gorgeous little boy. Um, and yeah, she's just the kindest soul. And she's had a really tough year this year. And she's just, well, the friend that I said couldn't come to the wedding,
yeah.
it was her mother-in-law who we sadly lost. So she hadn't gone when the wedding was on. She managed to see photos of the wedding and see videos, but then we did lose her. So it's
Oh,
been like a really sad few months for her, but she's just been amazing. And she really cared for Jilly when she was poorly, and she's just an amazing person that I'm really lucky to have in my life. So she just inspires with me with how she gets everything done and keeps smiling.
yeah. A real light. Oh, gorgeous. Beautiful. Thank you so much for
Well,
being
thank you.
on my sofa. This has been absolutely wonderful. I'll switch
This
us
is
off.
really nice. I feel like a celebrity or something that
I
I'm being
know.
interviewed.
If only we were in like a really glamorous studio, but we're
Yeah, you could have
simply
put
in
me
our
up in a
own.
hotel, Vix. I could have sorted you a deal.
Maybe we need to do that. We'll go for a day and just have a day of filming people on the sofa.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah. Where can we find the most glamorous sofas?
Yeah. We're now going around the UK touring to find the best sofas.
Yeah, great. I'll do that with you. Love a sofa.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you so, so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. If people do want to connect with you, where is the best place for them to find you? Is it
So it's
Instagram?
at Monty and Mills. So Monty, who is here pestering me because he's hungry. So Monty and Mills, Mills.
Fabulous. So anyone who wants to find you, that is where they will see you and your gorgeous inspirational posts as well. Which yeah, are absolutely fabulous. So thank you so much, my love.
Thank you,
And
Vix.
I will see you very soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Mwah.
Bye.